the happiest moment of my entire life. Like that small moment is the moment I saw the face of my first daughter, even with all the circumstances and everything. For me, the moment I saw her face, it's the happiest moment of my life. Then and the first hour together, it's so weird to think because I had like this dead baby in my arms, which was supposed to be like my baby, but we got to spend time with her and we bathed her and we got to have music and we were left alone, and it was such a special moment. And then of course it all started falling apart, but that first hour, that room, for me, it's still sacred.
Welcome to The Rainbow Connection. This podcast was designed for mothers who are finding their way through life after loss. Whether you're grieving, trying to conceive again, newly pregnant, or holding hope in your heart for what's to come, this space is for you. Each week, you'll hear real and tender stories of love, heartbreak, healing, and the babies who continue to shape us. I'm your host, Kristin Mundy, a mother, doula, and a woman who's walked this path too. May these conversations remind you that you are not alone, that your baby is never forgotten, and that hope and grief can live here together. Before we begin today's episode, I want to take a moment to talk to you, just you. If you are a lost mom in any season of this journey, I want you to know that I created something with you in mind. Whether you are newly grieving, trying to conceive again, not sure of what comes next, pregnant after loss, or parenting a living child while still carrying the babies who aren't here, you are welcome. I have a free community called the Doula Life community, and it's a space where lost moms can gather without having to explain themselves. A place where you don't have to shrink your grief, you don't have to tone down your hope, and you definitely don't have to pretend like you're okay. Inside, you'll find other women who understand this journey. There are message boards, free workshops, shared stories, and gentle resources. But more than anything, there is connection. It's completely free and it's growing, and it was built to feel like a soft place to land. If your heart has been craving that kind of space, you can join us at thedoulalife.ca/community. I'd love to see you inside. Today on The Rainbow Connection, I am sitting down with Fernanda, my new friend all the way from Berlin, Germany, who shares a story that holds so much love, so much heartbreak, and so much truth. Fernanda's journey into motherhood began a little bit unexpectedly, but quickly became something so much deeper when her daughter was diagnosed with a rare and life-limiting condition during her pregnancy. What followed after that diagnosis was an unimaginable path, as you could expect. One that led Fernanda to making a decision that no mother should ever have to make. In this conversation, we talk about those final days with her daughter, what it meant to carry her while knowing she would have to say goodbye, and the sacredness of meeting her after her birth. I loved hearing Fernanda talk about her daughter. I don't think, lost moms get an opportunity to really discuss and talk and relish in those moments of beauty and sacredness, and just how perfect and lovely that moment is, even in so much pain. We also talk about the grief that followed and the work it took to survive, because it really is about survival, right? And what it looked like to slowly find her way back to living life again. Fernanda shares also about her rainbow baby Theo and how motherhood after loss has reshaped everything she thought she knew. She says that he saved her, and I can totally relate to that. This episode is heavy and honest, but it's incredibly beautiful, and I'm just so honored to share her story with you today. Okay, enough from me. Now let's hear from Fernanda. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Rainbow Connection. Today, I am joined with Fernanda. She is calling all the way from Berlin. Thank you so much for being here, Fernanda.
Thank you so much for having me. Such an honor to be here, chatting with you and telling my story.
I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better and hearing more about your beautiful babies. Fernanda is going to be sharing 2 stories with us today and a little bit more about her journey to motherhood and through motherhood and how life kind of is looking now. But before we dive in, Fernanda, why don't you share a little bit about yourself with our listeners today?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. First of all, as I said, I am Fernanda. My friends, they call me Fer because I guess it's shorter, so you can call me Fer too. I come from Santiago de Chile. I was born there and I lived there my whole youth. And when I finished university, I came to Berlin just to experience 1 or 2 years before my life starts. But then I fell in love with the city, and I guess I built up the life that I wanted. I just built up here, and I've been here for more than 10 years now.
Mm,
I'm married to, everybody says it, but I'm married to my best friend.
mm,
We were together for a long time before getting married, and then it was a very, I don't know, like smooth and it has been like a very smooth and lovely like life together, that one that we have. I always before losing our first baby, I always said that I cannot believe how happy I am, like, and how lucky I am. Like,
mm,
I'm waiting for something to happen because I'm super lucky. I never really faced any big problem. I got to travel around the world. I don't know, I got to study whatever I wanted to study. I had a nice job. I had a nice home. Like, I always had like this very easy life.
mm,
Um, so I said to everyone, like, I'm just so lucky. Like, I don't know how I do it. But then it
mm,
changed. So I stopped saying it for a while. And now I think I'm very lucky. Um,
mm. Well, why don't
yes.
you tell us a little bit more about that journey of how things changed and a little bit more about your baby?
Mhm. I'm never like, I was not sure if I wanted to be a mother or like a biological mother. I was very I was not sure. I never really took the decision. I just did not see myself in there. I was scared. Um, and then one period of my life, I started to get like very strong periods and a lot of like and painful periods. So I went to see the doctor. The doctor told me that I have POC, is it called in
PCOS.
PCOS? Sorry.
Yes.
I just
Polycystic ovarian syndrome, right?
exactly
Mm-hmm.
polycystic ovarian syndrome. And then if I wanted to get pregnant ever, it was possible, but it was gonna be difficult. Um, and that really hit me. I was like, oh, all this time I try not to get pregnant, like with all my will, and then now I can't. What is this? Result is in that moment I stop like using any kind of protection, and I got pregnant that month.
Oh
Like,
my gosh. Of course, right?
of course.
Yeah.
I have never go back to that like to check what that was. I don't know if I have or if I had PCOS or not. I never reconnected with that because all my life then like just turned around. But then I got pregnant, and it was a shock to me. It was a huge shock to me. And at the beginning, I had not a long time, but it took me a while to really accept that I was pregnant, that I was gonna be a mom. And I really regret that because I lost so much of a very short and valuable time with her. I
Mm,
think the whole first trimester, I fought with the idea. I did not even have like a bad pregnancy. I mean, just like the basics. I was very sleepy, and I had like some had some things that I really didn't want to eat, but nothing else.
mhm,
Um, but I don't know, like I had a hard time accepting it. It really shook me. But then
I don't
when
know if that's even necessarily uncommon. I think your first pregnancy, the first trimester, it is kind of shocking, right?
I
Especially
think
after
so.
someone has told you that this might be really difficult for you to achieve. And then you all of a sudden are pregnant, right?
I now I've discovered that actually through this podcast, this and others, I've discovered that many people really are very shocked with their first, even if they're really searching for it and really wanting it. When they find out, it's like, oh, like this is a lot. Right?
Okay.
That's where I
hmm
was.
hmm
But then like the baby bump starts to grow, is it called baby bump? Like the bump is
Yeah.
starting to
Baby bump.
grow, and it starts to feel real. I start to, of course, fall in love with my baby,
hmm
and I I always saw myself as a mom of boys. I always picture myself as a boy's mom. I never, like, I always said, like, I'm gonna have boys. Like, I don't see myself, if I picture myself, I don't see myself with girls at all. I don't think I have the sensibility for it. I'm not. And then we found out it was a girl. And
hmm
that was, that changed everything. Picturing
hmm
Chris, my husband, picturing Chris, myself as parents of this girl, it changed everything. Um, I don't know. It was very magic, and that was, of course, then of course I fell in love with this pregnancy. I was very excited. I did what every person who hasn't ever gone through loss do in their pregnancy. I was super excited. I never thought something could happen. I went
hmm
super positive into everything, um, and I did like the 20-week scan. It's like a, I don't know how it's called
We
in the
call it an
US.
anatomy scan. Yeah.
Exactly. The
But
anatomy scan.
it's a big
It's
scan.
the
Yeah.
big one, exactly.
hmm
That one, I was not in Berlin for the 20 weeks, so I did it at 23 weeks. But at my 23-week scan, that scan was the first one that actually Chris was in with me. All the others, like Chris never saw her without this story. Like he just saw pictures and anything, but he was not ever there. I was always alone. And then for that scan, we said, okay, let's go together. And that scan, they had like like a formation problem in her back,
Okay.
bones, and in her ribs, like in all one side.
Okay.
It looked like it was not developed well, and that could compromise the organs, the vital
hmm
organs, the heart and the lungs above all.
hmm
It was like in stages because they first just saw like the what is called the back, like
The spine.
they first just saw the spine,
hmm
and I remember it. Um, I'm the first one who saw it, and I think that will always be like so big for me because um, they were checking her all around, and I saw the spine, and I said something, and then like the
hmm
doctor did not really check it. She continued talking, and then when she went back, she said like, "Oh, she's still in that position," and then she went into the spine. So I don't know why it's so, like I was the first one who saw it, and I don't know
hmm
why that it's so big for me still.
Maybe it's just your mother's intuition, right?
And maybe it's the first thing I saw. Like they turn on, like I don't know, they put the thing on my belly, and I saw it right away. It's like, what is that? Why is she like that? Why is she like sleeping
hmm
on the side? What is that? So that day they asked us to come on next day to check with the boss of the doctor. Everybody was all the time very supportive. This the doctor who saw it is she is a Frau Gierschik. Frau Gierschik was she was super supportive, super professional, and she told us to come the next day so her boss could check it. And then they saw it, and this person said, we need to take a sample of my placenta,
Fluid?
like as my
Oh, okay.
fluid, like the fluid, and all of that. And that was a long, and then a long wait came, an almost
Did
4 week
they
wait.
do an amniocentesis or
Exactly,
CVS?
amniocentesis.
Okay.
They did an amniocentesis, and then an almost 4 weeks wait came until that was horrible, horrible,
Of
horrible.
course. So long. Feels like forever.
And not knowing and hanging. And many for many people, I think it has also been like this. It's like you try to hang on something and then you lose that step, and then you try to hang on the next one, but then you lose one again. So everything you try to grab on to be okay falls apart. So it's like a slow fall apart. Like first was like, she's not okay. Then, okay, she's really not okay. Okay, then we need to wait. And all our hopes went down week by week by week.
That time where you just like researching all the possibilities too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that makes it so much harder because, yeah.
And she had, we did not know what she had, but that at one point at 3 weeks, we found out the name of what she had, which was metatrophic dysplasia. It's a rare disease. There is no treatment for it. There is nothing. And of course, as any rare disease, there's also stages. And in she was, it's very rare to see in non-born babies. Like the most cases you see them when they are a bit like in kids that they don't develop well, and then you see they have it. But there was only one documented case in Germany of an unborn baby having it. So like there's nothing. And that was also like a ice cold bath. Like, okay, this is really weird. It's not just some random thing that you can treat. Like it's gonna be a try and error. And we accepted all those steps. I never, ever, ever thought, it never crossed my mind not having her. Like it was always like, oh, this is gonna be so hard. Oh wow, this is even harder. Oh my God, this is gonna be like. And then I started like researching on how life is for mothers with kids. They live their whole life in hospitals. Like, okay, what hospital do we live close to hospital? What do we want to do? Like then what is a wheelchair for a child? How is it? Like I started going that path. It never crossed my mind not having her. It was
It was
not a
like, how are we
possibility.
going to do this? How are we going to do this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then at 4 weeks, this Dr. Gierschik, the one who supported us, she called us like the results are here. You need to visit a genetist. But then I think all humans make this mistake. She said like it's not as bad as we thought on the phone. And because with what she saw, of course, maybe like she's not a genetist expert and maybe she didn't see that way, but she sent the papers to the genetist. We went on the next morning to like, we went like very early, when they put you first because they don't have time. We were there at 7 a.m. at the genetic expert. But then our hopes were a bit up, and then the word was
That you were
destroyed.
going to get positive news. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
And
more positive than you were
exactly,
anticipating.
exactly. And then then
that's
we
so
had that
tough.
visit, and I don't remember anything. I remember the waiting room, and I remember after when we were waiting for a taxi to pick us up. I don't remember a thing. I don't know what he said. I don't remember the moment when I realized that we had, because that's the part. Like, I had a termination for medical reasons. She did not spontaneously die. We slept her. When we decided that it was either now or later that she was gonna die, and we decided to do it now. Like, I don't remember that.
That was in that meeting?
I don't remember.
But your partner was there, obviously, right?
Yes,
And
we were
he was,
together.
yeah.
Yes, we were both. I just remember us hugging in the street after this meeting, crying, like when you cry, like both. I don't know what the people in the street thought. Like, we were both crying loudly, waiting for the taxi. And we could not order the taxi because we could not. We were just crying. But I cannot tell you what happened in that room. I had no idea. But but I do know that she had, like, her chances to survive outside my womb were, like, they did not had any information, but they were sure that she will never leave a hospital, and her life expectancy was of months. Only if she had an operation, and a heart operation. So it was like,
that was successful too, right? Because even that has risks itself.
It was, and again, I'm very grateful for the doctors because they did guide us in a very respectful way. We visit every doctor there is, pediatricians, this genetic doctor, like Dr. Gishik, who really guide us. And everybody was Germans are very respectful, and in their very frontal and respectful way, they all let us know that we could choose whatever we needed to, but that the chances of survival, like of her survival, were low. And when, like, the best case would have been she never leaves the hospital ever. In the months or maybe even years, I will never know that she lives. So we made the call, and we decided to sleep her and have her. And of course, I know I will never know it's the right decision. It's something that will haunt me forever. It's very.
When you say sleep her, do you mean deliver her knowing that she was going to pass?
No, because we were past. I was 27 weeks pregnant. She could have survived. So the day that we had her, first she was. They injected the cord with I don't know, poison. It's called feticide. Like, in German is feticide, which is, I hate the name because, like, a rat poison. They injected the cord with feticide, and she died. And then they induced my labor, and I had her 24 hours later. So I signed those paper with we signed those paper, and I did not kill her, but I called her that death, and that's something that will haunt me forever. It will always hang in me somewhere, that what ifs is always gonna be there. And every time yeah.
It's just such an impossible choice. It's such an impossible choice. A
I
choice
know.
no mother should ever have to make. And
I
I'm
don't
just so
even I don't even
sorry.
think it's a choice.
I don't either. I honestly don't. I feel like you did what was the most compassionate thing for her. You made a choice as a mother that's really, really hard.
I remember I forget this. I remember because when we had this meeting with the genetist that afternoon, and the day after we went to see the doctor, and we always could check it out. I don't know, it was like 3 days where we went to the doctor, and it was like a consult, but she always offered us to check her, to see her. And I'm very glad, she was like that. She was like, do you want to see her? That's and she always was super active, my baby. She was super active, super difficult to follow, which I'm a very active person, so we always made fun that she was like me. But then on one of those sessions, of this 3 last sessions, the doctor said, I think she moves a lot because she's in pain. And then I asked, is this disease painful? Then Chris, my husband, looked at me, because Chris, of course, how he is, he read everything about it. Like, I went into looking how families with sick kids work. I went more into like this wholesome,
like caretaker, like how are we going to do this?
And and Chris digged so deep into the biological, like he read everything, every paper, everything there is on the internet. And he said, yeah, it is a painful disease. It's very painful. The bones and the joints hurt. And when she said, and then the doctor said, yeah, maybe she's hurting, and that's why she's moving so much. And that clicked me that, okay, no, I cannot do this to her, because I don't want to let her go, because I'm scared of what's coming. Then I don't know, that was for me like a turn-up point.
A shift, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, because no mother wants their child to suffer, right? And I think a lot of women who don't have to make, I'm using quotations, that choice. A lot of us who have had stillbirths or have lost their baby in a different way, one of the biggest questions is like, did our baby feel anything? And like that in itself is so painful to think of, because no one wants their baby to hurt. And we would do anything to prevent our baby from hurting, right?
Yeah. It's it is true. It was but it did not. I think what I do take from that experience of knowing before, that I did have the moment where I discovered that I had to let it go, but I had some days to prepare before she died, and I'm very grateful that I had 2 or 3 days to really say goodbye to her. I don't think making or taking that choice is easy, but the only gift that comes with that choice, I was hoping all the time that I don't have to take the decision, that she just, for one reason or another, just dies without me having to decide it. But the positive thing is that I have 3 days to say goodbye to her, and we did. They were horrible 3 days. Horrible. I don't even know how I did it. But we did all the things that we wanted her to do with her if life would have been different, right? We went to the lake. We ate our favorite pizza. We played at the playground. We went to the forest. And it was very nice to say goodbye to her. And then a Monday morning, when we went to the hospital, I felt nothing. That morning I cried here at home, but then on the car, arriving to the hospital, on the waiting room, I was I was numb. I was not myself, and I felt nothing. Like, the whole time I cried in the moment that they told us the heart was stopped. I cried and we hugged, but that was it. I felt nothing.
Mhm.
until I saw her, until she was born.
Course. Well, maybe you had to feel nothing just to kind of
Think
get
so.
through that, right? Just
Think
protect
so.
yourself. Mhm.
Um, yeah, I kind of felt bad at that moment. Like, should I be like super sad? But I was cauterized. Nothing. I was numb. Um, I just wanted to be over. I just
Mhm.
wanted to get out of that hospital. I just wanted to be over. But yeah, that day we arrived. She died. 2 hours later, I started with the induction, and then on the next day, she was born at 6:30 p.m. Um, it was a super respectful environment. I'm very grateful for the women that were with me in the room by then. I don't know, the woman in charge of my uh, delivery. She's a queen. I'm so grateful she was put on her path. From all of women I could have, I have the best of all. The whole team was, I'm very grateful for the whole team. I never felt alone or not listened or anything. Of course, it was a very hard delivery. I mean, my daughter was small because it's almost 28 weeks pregnancy, so it's not a big baby, but
Mhm.
so I think that was a bit easier comparing it to what I know now. But mentally, of course, it was very hard. Um,
Mhm.
I was like in drugs. It was very hard mentally. I was gone most of the time.
Mhm.
But I do remember the first moment I saw her face. It was the most beautiful thing I ever have seen.
Mhm.
I could not believe I made something so beautiful. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't feel the same with my son now. My son was like, oof, with my
Maybe it's
daughter.
a girl thing. Maybe it's a girl thing. Because I felt the same. I remember looking at my daughter Vienna being like, "Oh, she's so beautiful." And like, how? How did I make that?
Yeah.
I felt the
I
same.
Yeah, exactly. I could not believe I met something so beautiful. I could
Mhm.
not stop watching at her, and so my
Mhm.
first feeling was of joy. Still when I think and I cannot believe it, the happiest moment of my entire life, like
Mhm.
that small moment is the moment I saw the face of my first daughter, even with all the
Mhm.
circumstances and everything. For me, the moment I saw her face, it's the happiest moment of my life.
Mhm.
Then slow, and the first hour together, it's so weird to think because I had like this dead baby in my arms, which
Mhm.
was supposed to be like my baby, but we got to
Mhm.
spend time with her and we bathed her and we got to have music and we were left alone and it was such a like special moment. And then, of course, it all started falling apart. But that first hour, that room, for me, it's still sacred. I still
Mhm.
sometimes, not now anymore, but like at the first, like at all my grieving months, I went back to that room constantly to meet her, like not physically, but like
Mhm.
in my memories. That
Just like
first
feel
moment,
close to her.
exactly. That
Yeah.
first time
Yeah.
together.
It's funny
Yeah.
that you say that because I feel like the hospital I delivered my daughter in and even her funeral home, those are like
Uh-huh.
two places that are so traumatic, but they're so sacred to me. Like I go there and I drive past them just to like have that feeling. Like very much the same where other people might be like, I can never go back there ever again. Where I'm like, oh, that's where I'm like, I feel her. So it's very similar.
It's also like I'm very careful because depending on how I am, it can really bring me down.
Mm,
Um, but it's like equally painful, but
the love.
exactly, but that has something very special. But then also like we can talk about it. I don't know, many hours. But like I also have like now a very special relationship with pain because I really think I meet with my daughter in pain. Pain is where is where we
You
sit
feel her.
together at the end. Yeah, so I don't know, like that pain is what at the end really it connects me with her.
Yeah.
It's very easily said, of course. It's more profound than that, but yeah.
No, I get it. And where there's deep pain, there's great love, right? Or deep grief, there was great love. And it's so true. Like those most painful moments, like people will think about, saying goodbye to your baby or meeting your baby who's passed as being like, they'll be like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine. That's what people say, right? And you're like, well, that was the best moment of my life. That was my daughter. Like, and of course, it's like very, very painful, but it's so filled with love, right? It's that instantaneous change in your heart and your being and your soul because that's your daughter, right? I totally get it.
Yeah.
It's profound.
Hmm. And yeah, but then I think that was like the pinnacle, and then it all went down to a very,
Yeah. What did
very
life
dark
look
road.
like? Yeah. What did life look like following, saying goodbye to
Um,
her?
no, I guess uh, we all know.
Mm-hmm.
We know. I don't think I have even words for that. I don't wish
Mm-hmm.
it to anyone. It was
Mm-hmm.
it's curious to talk about many people that has not gone through it think that the worst part is like when they die or when it happens. For me, at least, that was just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dark road you go after that you have to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have to
Mm-hmm.
survive the hospital. I had to survive the 3 months mark or the 5 months mark, like the first
Mm-hmm.
winter. Like, oh my God,
First
that was
holidays. Mm-hmm.
there. Like the day that she was supposed to be born. That was hard.
Mm-hmm.
That still hits
Mm-hmm.
me. Um, um, that's just very dark,
Mm-hmm.
cloudy,
Mm-hmm.
difficult. I don't even know. I think
Just so
we all know
painful.
exactly. We all
Mm-hmm.
know. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Get out of that hole.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
hit rock bottom. I went crazy. I lost like I don't know what is it in pounds, but I lost around 15 kilos. I don't know what is it in pounds. I'm so
A
sorry.
lot. That's
It's a
about,
lot. It's a lot.
it's to 2.2 pounds. So it's about 30 plus pounds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I was
35 pounds.
and I love to eat. Like I'm someone I eat cookies every day. Like I love food. I'm not that person. I've never like my best moment of the day is when I'm hungry because I can eat again. I love food.
Hmm.
No, it
I
was
remember that
hard.
being something for me too, is just like the things that you found joy in before. And for me, that's food too, or like my coffee. It tasted like dirt after. Like I was like, I have no appetite. And I'm like, this feels so weird because food doesn't taste good. I can't taste it in my mouth. It doesn't give me like that dopamine rush. It's just like, whatever. Like,
Like finding out, I remember perfectly the moment that I found, like, I discovered that nothing was gonna take me out of that hole. Because before this happened, when I had like a weird day or a bad day, I went for shopping, not
Mhm,
necessarily buying me something, but I don't know. I went to Mitte, which is like the shopping area in Berlin. I went to Mitte and check out the cute stores, went for a coffee, and then it was so nice. And then on the train back, I could hear music. It was like
mhm,
something I did. And I remember being lost in Mitte, just going in and out of the stores like a ghost. I didn't want any coffee, of course. And then waiting for the train to go back home, crying because I discovered that nothing, nothing was gonna take me out of that hole, like the deepest hole of my life, and nothing was gonna take me out of
mhm,
that. And I called my husband, like, can you please pick me up because I don't think I can take this train. Like I don't have the energy for it. I can barely stand right now. I'm gonna faint of
mhm,
sadness. Um, and then I realized that when people say like you just need to let time pass, I was like, oh fuck, like this is just time. Like it really just this just needs to pass. And then time is also like this such a weird thing when you're grieving because that, I don't know, half a year that was like this deep, deep, deep grieving. It feels like 3 years. I got so old on those 6 months.
So old. And you also at the same time don't want time to pass, right? Because
yeah,
the more time passes, the more you're kind of like moving forward without your baby, right? So it's like this like push and pull between knowing that's what you need to feel better. I'm quoting again, better, but at the same time not really wanting to feel better and like
yeah.
not really wanting time to pass. Yeah.
I still have that
Same.
we already had like it has been more than 2 years, and it hurts me that the last time I had her in my arms was more than 2 years ago. Like what? I don't want that. I don't want to have 40 years between us. Like what is that? Yeah.
While we take a quick break, I'd love to tell you all about Mother Like No Other, my community for mothers who are navigating life after pregnancy or infant loss. Whether you're actively trying to conceive, navigating next steps, unsure what to do next, or wondering who the heck you even are anymore, this space was created for you. Because life after loss isn't linear, and deciding what comes next isn't so simple, and figuring out who you are in the aftermath can feel incredibly isolating. Inside Mother Like No Other, we gather for 2 live community calls each month where we talk about the real stuff, navigating decisions, rebuilding trust in our bodies, managing fear and waiting, next steps. There's also an ongoing private community chat where you can show up in real time and growing resource library created specifically for this season. This is not surface level encouragement. It's honest, trauma-informed support from women who truly get it, and a doula who has walked this path too. And the best part, it's only $22 a month. No long-term commitment, just support when you need it most. If that sounds like something your heart has been craving, if you have been looking for your village, you can learn more at thedoulalife.ca/mother. I'd love to see you inside. What did you find was like the most helpful during that time? Like what eventually brought you kind of out of that hole? Was it just time, or was there
No,
anything that
no, it was hard
yanked
work.
you out of there?
No,
Yeah.
it was hard work. There are like different folders. It was hard work. It was therapy, of course, and I discovered that for myself I needed a routine. So every morning I did the same. It was deep caring of myself and of no one else, in an active way. Like I actively doing what I needed to be better. My
Like
routine were
forcing yourself.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
My routine was very basic. Was like and getting out of bed, opening windows, making myself my tea, and then like deep breathing, and then that develop into meditating as long as I can. But at least, but I needed to sit down and give it a try. And it at the beginning it was summer, so then it was going to swim. But then when it was winter, it was or like fall and winter, it was going for a walk. It doesn't matter what the weather was outside. I was going for a walk. Um, that was like the active thing. But then also I discovered that I could not continue myself. I had like it was actually just exactly 2 years ago. It was October 23 when I went to bed in the nights, wishing that I did not wake up the next day, thinking like I was not gonna take actions myself, but I was wishing that something happens to me so I do not continue living. And that scared me. That moment, my therapist sent me to not like someone who can gives you antidepressants. I don't know the
Like a
name of a
psychiatrist?
psychiatrist.
Okay.
I went to a psychiatrist and I started with antidepressants in November, end of November or December 2020. And it really took me a while to accept that I needed antidepressants. I don't know why I was so hesitant, but then I'm very glad I did. For me, it was a relief. I was very anxious and I was thinking very dark things. So yeah, it was hard work, but also I had to ask for help at one point.
And that is hard work sometimes, especially
So
when you're in that hole. It can feel so impossible to ask for help.
yes, and to accept it.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
I had to accept that I could not do it alone.
Well, even to
Yeah.
recognize that you need it,
Yeah.
right, is one thing too, right?
Yes.
Because it does
Yes.
just kind of become a new normal grief. Like, am I grieving or am I like struggling here? Like, what is the difference? Like, what brings me to the point of like, okay, I'm needing to call something else
Yeah.
in. Like I've passed that point of grief and I'm in that point of needing help, right?
Yes. It was
Mhm.
also on that time I consumed so much grief content,
Mhm.
which I'm grateful till the day of today. Books, podcast, I don't know, everything. I read and listen to it on repeat.
Mhm.
And many, or like audiobooks, and many do say like the message is a lot of like, yeah, like medicine wants me to take something, but I'm just grieving. Just let me grieve. So I was hanging on
Mhm.
that, like, this is just
Mhm.
grieving. I should just like, please let me grieve. But then I got scared of myself and what I was
Mhm.
thinking.
Mhm.
And then also like the weight loss really, it was at one point it was like, oh, you're you look different. And then it was like, then my sisters approached me like, Fit, you look sick. Like you really need to do something. So I think that all
Mhm.
came together, and so yeah, exactly. Those two things took me out of the hole. And the third thing, it came a bit later, and maybe not everybody agree, but getting pregnant again. It was hard, but for me, it was my lifesaver. Um,
Mhm. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? But I will say there's a lot of people that feel the same. There's some women that, need that right away. And there's some that, need to wait and kind of have that grief and whatever it might look like. But I just want you to know that that is a really understandable and valid way of like feeling better for sure.
um,
Hmm.
I've yeah, I felt a bit guilty. I am one of the
Hmm.
women who wanted a baby right away, who wanted,
Hmm.
needed, needed.
Hmm.
I was desperate for any baby.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I'm one of those, and
Hmm.
as I said, like I consumed so much mom loss, grieving, baby loss content that I see that there's two of us, like there's two groups. Either
Hmm.
it was really hard for you or you wanted
Hmm.
one right now. I was
Hmm.
I needed one right away.
Hmm.
My therapist was I'm very grateful for that. My therapist begged me to wait 6 months.
Hmm.
I'm someone who does I work in running and I work in sports, and she used that with me saying like your body needs to like your body to perform better needs to recover at least 6 months to get pregnant again. So
Hmm.
think for your
So you
brain.
could perform like the
Exactly.
best way that you want to. Yeah.
Exactly. And she said it like, if your body needs that, think that your brain needs that too. Like you cannot jump, even if your baby
In
was
your
born
heart.
alive, please give it 6 months to get another baby just because your brain needs it. And she played that card with me, and I'm very grateful. But I was literally like counting days. Um, so I waited 6 months. It was so hard. Like I needed a baby right away. I I needed it because I knew, and then I disagree with many therapeutic opinions that you're maybe gonna replace your baby with another, blah blah. No, I just needed to mother another baby, and I'm very
Yeah,
clear. Yeah,
it's a physiological thing.
yeah,
Replacing anything, it's like I was ready to be a mother and my body was ready to be a mother and my heart is ready to be a mother, and you are. But when you
I
take
am
away the
exactly.
physical act of doing that, there's something in your body and in your brain and your heart that's like, what? Like, it really is like breaking a chain, and your
Mm.
body needing that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, we had the same conversation. I had that conversation with my husband in the hospital room still. I was like, when can I have another one? Like, this can't be it, right? Like, what? And I remember it was like such a delusional conversation, but it makes a lot of sense.
No, I really understand mothers that also women that steal babies now. I understand them.
Mm-hmm.
I do not, of
Mm-hmm.
course, it's a wrong thing.
Condone. Yeah.
I don't condone it. Please don't do it. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I understand it. I was in such a stage of like I was mad. I was mad. It was madness. I needed a baby. So
Mm-hmm.
I did not have that thing that people say you're so brave to get pregnant again. It was not bravery. It was not. It was nothing very heroic. It was pure need. I did it out
Mm-hmm.
of desperation. Like it was to save my life.
Mm-hmm.
Other I have no idea what would have been of me if I would. I mean, if this baby, if Theo's my living baby, if Theo would not exist, he saved me. He saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, like after the 6 months, I'm very grateful and very lucky that I get pregnant quite quickly, and I got
Mm-hmm.
pregnant 2 months after trying, and he's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a it was a crazy pregnancy, of course. Because I don't know if everybody goes through it, but like once you enter the baby loss universe, all the doors of possibilities are open. And of
Totally.
course, for me, it was not a spontaneous death, the one of my baby, but I entered the world of it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a bit of an imposter here because as I said, like it was not spontaneous to me, but still I was so afraid of a spontaneous death because I know it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, once you learn that babies do die, like
exactly.
you can't unlearn it, right? And I think any mother that's had a stillbirth, or most mothers that have had a stillbirth, we never thought it would happen to us. And then it does. And then you're like, I can never unlearn that this happens. Like, it's very much like a thing that happens to other people until you come into the world and you're like, oh, this really does happen. And now I know mothers who this has happened to. And if it can happen to them, that means it can happen to me, just like this happened to me, right?
And mothers who had go through this more than one time, of course. Yeah. So it was a different craziness then. So I have like the last 2 years have been like all my versions of madness in different with different faces. It was very anxious. But it's like equally beautiful and scary, you know? Like
Mhm.
um
What was it like passing, your anatomy scan? Like, because I know that that's where things change for you so much before. What was that like for you?
not happy. It was every anatomy scan was very hard. Chris came with me all times this time, all scans this time. He was he was shaking, crying. In the 20 weeks anatomy scan, he threw up. Uh, I was going back, like Chris really took me for all my grieving months. He forgot about himself, and then he he took me, like he bathed me when I could not shower myself because I was too sad to do it. He cooked for me. He literally gave me water in my mouth when I was too sad to drink water. Chris took me with his arms with through all that very dark phase. So somehow when he was really struggling on these scans, I felt that it was okay for him to break down. So actually, I struggle for the scans, but I could contain myself because Chris could not handle himself, and we cannot both break. It's like someone needs to be there for the baby. I always thought like someone needs to look at him. Like we were all so occupied, like also busy with our trauma. It was like, can someone please look at this baby? Like, I know the baby was in my womb, but he's moving there. And in another reality, we would be celebrating how he moves. One time he was even like doing like this,
sucking his thumb.
super
Yeah.
cute. And we were like so deep into our
Aw.
traumas. It was like, can
Yeah.
someone please celebrate this baby boy who's doing like everything? We did not know it was a boy, but this baby, um, so at one point I was like, okay, Finn, this, like, please, like, let Chris, Chris cannot handle this and it's okay. So it was hard, but it was harder for my husband than for me because
You
I don't
kind of
know.
like pass the baton of who's going to take care of who in that
Exactly.
moment,
And
right?
I think that happens with also as a mom. Like you say, I need to get over myself because someone needs to check this baby. Someone needs to check
I need to be
what's
a mother. Yeah. Like
exactly.
I
I
need
need
to.
to watch what he's doing. I don't know why. I need to check.
Mhm.
Like I was the one who saw my first baby's spine, and that I carry that with all my scans with Theo. Like I need to keep an eye if I see something.
Like
Like
pay attention.
exactly,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need
I
to be
always
there.
say like you are the expert of your baby and you were the
Exactly,
expert of your baby, when you saw her spine and like you
exactly.
were the expert of this baby and like that's that like radical responsibility of choosing to be a mother because you already
Hmm.
are a mother when you're pregnant, right?
Yes.
You already are showing up as that baby's mother in those moments.
Hmm.
So, hmm
Yes. But I do. It was very hard for me to connect with this baby, though.
of course.
Uh, I did not want to find out gender. Uh, he didn't have a name. I had nothing. I bought nothing. I had like
Mm-hmm.
a few pajamas. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have even diapers. We didn't have a crib. I mean, no, we had a crib and the carrier and stuff that we had for our daughter, but they were in
Mm-hmm.
the basement, and I was not gonna build it.
No.
I had a really hard time connecting with him. And it's weird because I was very happy. I was deeply happy and grateful. I was so grateful. Also that because of losing my first pregnancy, I was so I am still so aware of what it means to be pregnant. I was not anymore taking it for granted at all. Like every
Mm-hmm.
day that we spent together, me being pregnant was magic and was a gift, and I really took it as that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I really see every day of life now as a miracle. I don't take my son for granted at all. So it was like that. I was deeply grateful for every second together, but something in my mind knew that this was not granted, that this could end tomorrow. And that's how I lived my whole pregnancy. So I had a very hard time connecting with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess also he was born premature. He was born at 35 weeks, premature, not super premature, but I think that was also like just out of anxiety. I was so anxious that we were not gonna make another day together. That I think I just expelled. Like, okay, this is enough now,
It's
please,
eviction notice. I need you here. So,
right now.
hmm
Um, and when he was born, I also had but that also happens to many moms. But I was one of those moms. I had to take a while to connect with him because I never did it before. So yeah, like I think I went back to also like that room delivering my first daughter when I was like numb. I think many stages of my second pregnancy, I just did not allow myself to dream, to anything. I prefer to protect myself and be numb. And when Theo was born, it took me a little bit of energy to get me out of that numbness and say like, hey, this baby's real. Like, have a baby. Yeah, I actually know it was the third day, 5 a.m. in the morning. I was having him in my arms. We were at the hospital. And at that moment, I checked that I had this precious baby. And then I cried myself out. I cried, I cried, I cried. And then I understood that this was over. I closed the chapter that morning. Yeah.
Even for, I think that there's this misconception, even just with traditional pregnancies, moms that haven't experienced loss, that they're going to see their baby right away and they're going to just like fall in love and it's going to be so natural and it's just going to be this instantaneous thing. And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes we need a moment to process, and it's not because of anything really, but our body kind of needs to catch up with what has happened. And I think after you experience loss and you have been protecting yourself for so long, your heart, your brain, your body, everything needs to have time to kind of come into the mindset that we've made it. Like, this baby is actually here, and for you to accept that and be able to process it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it makes sense that moment takes some time. So many of my clients that have experienced loss, they look at their baby and they're just like in disbelief. Like,
Exactly.
I need
Exactly.
time to actually know that this is real. It comes, but sometimes it takes a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It was the first thing it was a hard it was a very hard delivery. Again, in this country, I don't know why they are so hesitant to any drugs to help you have babies. So I had him just like I would have like with nothing. It was so painful. Oh my God. When he was finally here, I did not ask anything like whatever. I was just screaming like, is he alive? And Spanish, of course, like all these German ladies, also very supportive and very nice. But I was screaming to my husband, though, está vivo, está vivo, alive, is he alive? It's all the thing. The only thing I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And I forget, like, I want to have like this calm moment to have him on my chest. No, I was just like, I don't care. I was just caring if he was alive.
Because then if you know he's alive, you're like, that moment can happen anytime now.
Exactly.
Now I know that I'm going to get that moment no matter what. And I just
Exactly.
like need a
I
minute.
cannot. No, and also like I cannot bound. Don't want to connect with this baby if I'm gonna go through this again. I need to know that this baby is alive before I connect with that baby. Yeah, it's up to see for me what traumas I gave to my baby in the womb while not connecting to him, but it's all I had. And also because my first baby was a girl, I was so scared to find out the gender because one side I really I still want a girl. Now I really want a girl. And I want not to put that pressure on this baby. I wanted this baby to be like whatever they are in whatever, like in their own world. And I knew that in the whole pregnancy where I still can influence this baby so much while being in me, I didn't want to give that pressure to this baby. I don't know, because
No, I get it.
because I wanted a girl so bad. When he was born
Mhm.
alive, I did not really care if it was a boy or a girl or
Mhm.
whatever he wants to be.
Mhm. He was just your baby, right?
Exactly. And he still is. I don't care. I really don't care.
Mhm.
And I really value now him being like the most medium baby. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing special in this baby, and I mean he's special to me. But I don't want anything special. I don't want like too good, too bad, too something. Like I just want a very average baby. I cannot go to
Mhm.
like to the doctor again and they tell me this is different. I'm very like I was
Mhm.
already one of the 3,000 chance. Like, I don't know, what my daughter had was one in, I think, 16,000. What is
Okay.
that? Who am I? Like, how lucky am I? 117,000. Like, wow, that's very,
Mhm.
like, I don't want to be that lucky ever again in my life.
Mhm.
So with Theo now, it's like, I want to be as average as possible.
Just like predictable. We just want predictable.
I want
Let's
an
just
I
coast.
want an average life. I want an average life. I
Mhm.
don't want anything special. I don't want to go up and down. I just want a calm, average life. I want him to be happy with happy and healthy, and that's it. Um, that's it. I don't want anything special.
What does life look like for you guys now? Like now that he's here, um, how do you honor your baby girl in your family? Like what does life kind of look like now?
It's of course taking care of a living baby is all hands. He just
Mhm.
turned 1 on Saturday. Uh,
Wow.
yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was it was a very nice day. So this first
Mhm.
year of him at the side, it doesn't really gave me so much space to grieve. So now I
Mhm.
understand why my therapist or therapists say that it's better to wait, because if I would have had him right away, I would have had the grief in me, but it would not have had any mind space or real space to
Mhm.
grieve my daughter. So I'm very grateful I did that hard part, or like part of the hard part before, because
Mhm.
living with Theo is a 24/7 job, of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm. You could want your baby so hard, but it doesn't mean that, postpartum is any easier. It's
No,
still really hard, right?
it is
Yeah.
very hard. It is very hard. One thing that I still have in me, and it's when it gets hard. I don't decide it. It's in me, but when it gets hard, I always tell myself I still choose this as I still choose this instead of not having this. And that
Mhm.
always helps me. I don't decide. It's not that I have like a mantra and I'm a super person that I bring that mantra in. I'm not that powerful, but it hits me when he's crying super long or anything, that I still prefer to calm him down at 3 a.m. morning than not calming him down at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Like, I'd rather have this hard than that hard.
Exactly. This is not
Yeah.
hard in comparison, but it's very hard.
It's hard, but it's definitely doable,
And
especially after everything you've already been through, right? You've already
you have
been through the
something in
worst thing.
return. Like this,
Mhm.
he's amazing. He's a little star.
Mhm.
And yeah, I do sometimes. I do miss my grieve and like how I grieved before, because I don't have so many spaces to connect with my daughter as I had before. That's what I also
Mhm.
maybe I meant with pain, that we
Mhm.
had this moment together that was pain, and now I'm so happy and light and I feel lucky again, and I cannot believe how beautiful my life looks right now. And
Mhm.
I know I have not forget her because she lives in me, in us, and I see her in many things, but she is not part of my daily business anymore. Like she's not. Before Theo, she was in everything. Like everything was touched by her existence or her loss. Either way, everything was touched by it. Like my whole personality and my whole life was built up by being her mom or actually being lost, like a baby loss mom. I don't know what the word is. And now it's not like that. Now my whole existence is again built up from many things. It's built up from the passion that I have for my job. It's a big part is being Theo's mom. And I have somewhere in a very protected part of me, and it's not all of me. It's just like a hidden tattoo. She's still with me. I do miss a little bit those days where she was everything because I miss her, I guess. And there are still moments in my life, for example, on Theo's birthday on Saturday, there were moments when I could not stop thinking like, how would have this parallel life that we all live in sometimes, how would it be if she would be here? How would have her first birthday be? Or she would be 2.5 now. Like, what would it be? And I still go there sometimes, but she's not as present as before. But I guess we all honored her in like the very in the little stuffs. She always comes up in conversations. We visit her in the forest. She's in every butterfly. Both of us has many tattoos with her with things that mean her. So I remember her all the time. And we have a cat. And every time, I don't know if you know about cats, like they sometimes like they randomly run around the house, right? And I want to believe that every time that my cat runs around like crazy, maybe she's like my cat is playing with her. It's like every time my cat stops running like that, it's like, that has to be she's playing with her. So it's like in small things.
Yeah, I love that. So in those small things though, and even just the mom that you're showing up as for Theo, I think that's a huge part of how, she stays a part of your everyday, right? Even though you're not actively and unable to sit in that pain as much because you're a mom, like you have Theo now and you're running around and life is really busy. She still shows up in those ways, but I know what you mean by it could be so hard to sit with that grief. And that's another part of the grief journey, right? And it's not. I remember another guest asked me, do you ever miss your grief? And I'm like, oh yeah, I totally get what you mean. I definitely do. I miss those days. They were the hardest days of my life, but they were hard because I just loved her so much and I felt so close to her. And yeah, I think a lot of women listening to you right now are nodding their heads because they totally understand what you mean. Well, I think this is a really beautiful place to wrap things up. What do you think?
Yes, would love that. It was lovely to talk about her. I think in the same context that we're talking that I don't really connect with my grief or my pain anymore as much. I've like I every like with time I tell her story or our story less and less. At the beginning I was talking about our story all the time, and now I choose very wisely where I open up. And actually, like beginning, I was like, I want everybody to know that I had this baby, and now I really protect that story. I don't need everybody to know it, and I don't want everybody to get involved. It's a very she's mine.
She's sacred. Yeah, she's sacred.
Exactly. She's mine. The story is ours, and I don't want everybody to just grab it. So it was very nice to connect with it again because I think I haven't told this story in a very, very long time. So thanks so much for the space.
Of course. And you're also in a community that understands, right? Not fully because we're not you and we're not her mother, but we get it in the sense of, that deep pain and saying goodbye to your baby and what that journey can be like. And I think one of the reasons we like to keep that story so sacred too is because a lot of people, they're just never going to understand the complexity and like the weight of what you're actually saying, right? And the loss and the pain. And we see you and we're so thankful to hear about your daughter and to witness your pain and your heart and the journey you've been on. And just so thankful to, be in your energy today. So I'm grateful to know more about you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me and for your company in a very different way, but for your company for all these months. Like, it has been very helpful and nice and light.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to connect more, Instagram is where I hang out most, so come join me in a beautiful community of lost moms for pregnancy after loss education, real-life grief talk, and deep solidarity. You can find me at the.doula.life and at the Rainbow Connection Podcast. And remember, you are never alone. I'll see you in the next episode.